Yeah, on the back row, there's a fairly loaded question here from Brendan Spearin on Instagram. He asks, does Sean O'Brien deserve to be in the Ireland squad based on this season's performances?
Based on this season's performances alone, probably not, but you're not just picking an international squad based on the most recent form. I know all coaches like to say they do, and clearly with the likes of Carty, form is a factor, but with a guy like Sean O'Brien, who Joe Schmidt has been in huge games with for years now, and Sean O'Brien has always delivered for him in those huge games, and been one of the most influential players on the pitch, I think it's pretty clear why he's picking him. And for me, if I was the Ireland coach, he'd be in the squad every single time as well, as long as he was fit, because yes, he's been unlucky with injury, and yes, other guys potentially have better recent current form, but he's proven time and time again at that top level that he can stand out and actually dominate games. I always think of that home game against New Zealand in 2016, 2 weeks after Ireland won Chicago, and he came back without much rugby at all, and he had 4 turnovers, I think, some really massive tackles and carries, and again showed the New Zealanders why the New Zealanders respect him so much. So yeah, it is a concern that he's picking up so many injuries, and even the returns to play are getting slightly delayed with little issues along the way. But in terms of leadership as well, and that experience, that communication, all those things, it makes pure sense to me why he's in the squad.
Yeah. Before we
you touch on the Paul McGrath USA 94, you know, about Sean O'Brien now. He's got to be managed. He's a huge amount of mileage on the clock. He's had high impact injuries. His joints, there's no way they are what they were, but it absolutely doesn't mean he needs to turn up every week and play well for Leinster to get in the Irish squad. It doesn't matter. He's the type of player like that who I would imagine, if we can somehow get him available and fit in October 2019, he's probably going to start in the World Cup game, I would imagine, first World Cup group game. And if he can manage to stay fit, or they manage him through that World Cup, you know, that's all we need to do with the likes of Sean O'Brien. I think the Kiwis rate him as probably one of the few players, given Kiwi arrogance, that they would consider for selection in their own side, which seems to be their biggest metric for respect of anyone else, is would we pick him on our team? And O'Brien seems to feature heavily in that conversation down in New Zealand, probably on the back of that Lions series where he was comfortably one of the top players, if not the best in that series. So I think he doesn't need to answer the loaded question, as you said, Gav. He doesn't need to show his form against Treviso away in order to get in the Irish squad.